our pre-live time where we just discuss the philosophies of life. Live time
where we discuss your Yeti mic picking up and not picking up.
There we go. Hey, it looks like we're live with Facebook.
Let's bring it.
Yeah. Here we go. So we are live officially with episode 39 of the All Daily Show. Can you believe it?
Unbelievable.
It's like every day we do a new show and every day it grows.
How's that work? So let's just do it from a math standpoint. I was never the math guy.
Yeah.
I am the math guy. But so if we do another show every day, it adds to the number?
Yeah. So what turns out when you take one show and you start with the first one, then you add another show, that makes two shows. And then if you add a show on top of that, that makes three shows, and so on and so forth.
So I'm in the marketing world. I don't understand numbers, but I understand that sounds to me like consistency. You're just calling it math.
That's right. Math is now consistency, which means we're winners.
For the win.
For the win.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just got to do simple math to make your consistency work.
That's right. I like how our heads work.
I know. We have some of just the most random, best intros in this show I think anyone's ever seen. And these, just so everyone knows, we don't rehearse anything. We just jump on here and make it happen.
Well, that's part of our philosophy, right? You got to make it real.
True. If it's not real, it doesn't matter.
It's just canned. It's commercial stuff. We don't do that.
No. And it's part of the relationship marketing experience we do. It's if the things you're doing aren't real to the people watching them and they notice that it's rehearsed and that it's boring and that it's just not the way it should be, or it's not humanistic, they don't want to listen to it. It makes it a little less fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just, I mean, think about it, right? Everybody wants to be friends and your friend and feel like they belong and are part of your story. Imagine if you went over to your friend's house and they started giving you some sort of canned, boring, rehearsed speech. You'd immediately think it was a breakup speech. Like, what'd I do? Right?
Wait a second. Is there something wrong here?
Something's going on here. I know there is.
Yeah. It's like Steph asked me the other day, why do you always open the show and say, you sound like a robot? I'm like, because that's the opening of the show.
Yeah, it just has to be the same every time.
Every time.
You know, so we add consistency numbers.
Yeah. Consistency, a.k.a. numbers, a.k.a. math, a.k.a. calculus.
There we go. So let me point out, so we just went 3 minutes. We haven't talked about anything. But the content's usually pretty solid.
Yeah.
We actually did. So we actually rolled up a whole bunch of really good stuff in that 3 minutes.
That is true. We actually had a bunch of good subliminal messages in there, like be consistent with what you do. It's one of the most important things. Be human in everything you put out. You don't have to rehearse things to the point to where they're robotic. I mean, that was a lot of really good info.
Yeah. And this comes down to, we have actually a planned show today. It looks like we might not even do it.
Yeah, just because we've been throwing out all these knowledge bombs at everybody.
Right. So it shows you from a content. Let's will you tell me, Chan, are we going to do the show or are we going to talk about this stuff and keep it going?
We should probably just talk about this stuff. I think this is a pretty important and relevant topic with literally everybody we work with and everybody we talk to right now.
That's right. So if you're producing content, and if you've done, like we do the whole relationship marketing experience and we teach you how to build your story and put out your content and all those things, this is actually a good lesson here, right? We went live, we had a topic, we kind of got sidetracked a little bit, but it's really relevant talking about this stuff. And so now we're just on a different topic, which is okay because it's all about telling your story and having people get to know you. We're educating. You get people. I think we educate, we motivate, we make people laugh at us, not with us from our jokes, I think. But that's good too,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things people forget about is self-depreciating humor is actually one of the best ways to utilize humor. And you just have to be confident enough to know that it's going to be okay and people don't actually dislike you or anything. You're just showcasing some of the things you do that are funny that maybe the other people can relate to.
So let's just go along with the theme of the show where we're randomly talking about knowledge bombs. So from a relationship standpoint, when we meet somebody, we'll fast forward a whole bunch of psychology and stuff. But at the end of the day, everybody puts a wall up. And the fastest way to connect with somebody is to make them feel better than you. And so when we're talking about, maybe I pick on myself or I tell a joke about myself, that's one way to do it, right? Or prop them up by telling them how good they are. But ultimately, if you make them feel like they're better in the exchange, they'll actually open up quicker, right? You put them in the position of power, and you put them in a position where they open up because they feel now that they're in a little bit better shape than you are, and so they'll help you or they'll talk to you and let their guard down a little bit, which is what you need when you're building relationships.
Yeah, that's huge. And when you think about the way we build relationships, what it really comes down to is making one person or both parties feel comfortable. And when people come into these situations, especially in like sales types conversations, both parties are generally uncomfortable. And if one side can work to make it a little less like uncomfortable or a little less horrible for the other side, then it makes the whole experience something that both sides can look forward to or both sides want to interact with. And that takes being the one who's willing to be a little bit maybe funny with what's going on, the one who's willing to not stand there with your arms closed and be super quiet, and the one who's just willing to make other people laugh and motivate that person and educate that person a little bit. And it's not about tricking people into doing that stuff. It's just about displaying your personality and understanding that sometimes you might get rejected, but who cares? That's how you grow and that's how you build and that's how you get better as a person anyway, because without rejection, there's no way to move forward and there's no way to evolve and build processes better in our strategies and the way we approach and work with people better.
Yeah. And ultimately, I mean, it's from relationship building to running your business to getting clients to connecting with clients. It's all the same thing. Right? The people that are more successful in life are able to communicate well, build friends well, get people to like them. I want to listen to them more, buy products from them, interact with them, whatever it is. They just have that's what makes people successful, not all the other fancy stuff. It always comes down to that. Any business out there that has interaction with it, you can always find really good communicators and people that can build great relationships.
Exactly. Everything fundamentally, like you're saying, comes down to relationships and how well you can build that relationship and how outgoing you are in order to capture that relationship. So we always talk about how big business deals and big business doesn't work in the boardroom and it doesn't work in the office. It works in the bar after everybody's done, because that's when you establish that humanistic and that emotional connection with people. And that's when people start to open up and really feel comfortable with you. And that's when they actually remember you. Nobody remembers the meeting they were in 35 times this week, but everybody remembers what they did at the bar on Friday night.
Well, not everybody. Most people remember what they did in the bar. If you don't remember what you did last Friday night at the bar, you either had a really good night or a really bad night.
That's true.
Either way, strap a camera on and hit record for the night so that you remember.
Right. And sometimes it's a little bit of both, good and bad.
Good and bad, right? You want to remember something because you want to remember if you need to stop immediately or if you need to make sure you go back for another epic night.
That's true. Remember what you did, kind of, or find someone who did and get them to come in, recreate it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, when we think about so a lot of people ask us, what are the keys to building like a relationship with someone, and what are the keys to getting people to want to pay attention to what you're doing and listen to you and a lot of that. And I think for me, the keys in doing this are staying on when we put out content and we put out information, we interact with people, it's always staying on the positive side of everything we do. So it's always being the guy who's going to be remembered as the one who like, oh yeah, he's hilarious, or he's always out of control, or he's got something to say and it's always funny, or I just really like to be around that person because it makes me feel happy. And that dips into kindness priming as well. So we prime people to want to be happy around us with every interaction we have with them. And then that creates the construct in their mind and develops the idea that when they see you, they're automatically going to be subconsciously happy.
Right. And you can't, so yeah, something that people have to really work hard at is you have to mean it, and you have to want to be right, that person, and have fun and high fives and all that. Don't go out and fake it until you make it, right? Like actually,
right.
It's more than just, trying to create that environment. It's put on the mentality of like you really do care about these other people that you're meeting, and you really do want to help and make them laugh and lighten the mood and enjoy it, right? Like actually enjoy the process of building those relationships, meeting people, making them feel better around you. It pays huge dividends. Huge.
Yeah, that's the way you make friends. That's the way you make strategic partnerships. It's the way you drive your business forward and make sure everybody on your staff is happy. It's the ultimate way that you're going to make sure that you're always in a good position and you have a lot of friends who are going to help you move yourself along the entire way. So when you get into a position to where you need something, you have people to call and you have people to talk to and you have a really big network to pull from. And it's one of my big things I talk to about a lot of the time as well is you never know what that one person who you interacted with is going to be able to do for you down the road. It might be 10 years from now. It might be 5 years from now. It might be never. But if you have those good interactions consistently with people over time, you're always going to be in a position to where you have people to fall back on when you need something. And they're going to be willing to help you versus someone who's not necessarily, who doesn't care, who doesn't want to build those connections in a relationship.
Right. And they'll remember, I mean, if you mean it right from your heart, when you meet somebody and people feel that there is that connection in life, right? So down the road, you can always rely on the people that you had a positive impact with. We've been in, Chandler and I have been in the gym business for a long time, and we moved into relationship marketing type stuff. And we've met lots of people over the years. And as long as you honestly enjoy the interaction and you're not trying to get anything out of the interaction and you give them something, right, which is you in the moment, right? They're always, we can run into them years later. They love us, right? And it's because of the relationship we've built. And it could have been a 30-second relationship, right? But if you actually were sincere in it, they'll remember you.
Exactly. They're always going to remember that interaction. It takes being real, being human with people, and understanding the different ways they interact, and never trying to beat around the bush or never trying to take advantage of people with anything you do. And sometimes you give a lot in order to get a little down the road from someone.
And you always give. Yep.
Yeah. Your goal shouldn't be to immediately get something from them. It should be, here's everything I can give you. Here's a lot of help. Here's how far I can take this with you. And then down the road, when you're in a position to where you can use their help or anything like that, or they know someone who can use your help, that's how you generate referrals, and it's how you generate someone who can help you down the road because you've provided so much value. So lead with value first.
That's right. We can go on all night. I have all sorts of stuff I want to talk about now, but we're going to end it.
Yeah.
This is more shows to do.
I know.
Years and years of shows coming up.
Yeah. We're going to make it. When we make it to episode 100, we just have to have a live entrepreneur party or something. We need to invite everybody on the live who wants to join.
That'd be a lot of fun. And then the next one will be 1,000. We'll go 100 and then 1,000. 1,000, maybe we rent a hall somewhere or rent something out, throw a party, and go live.
That'll be exciting. We might have to do math to figure out when we get to 1,000.
Consistency. We'll do consistency.
Okay, I like consistency.
All right, brother.
We actually have a comment from my buddy John that I just did a podcast with. They're creating a collapsible canteen called a Go Puck that fits hot and cold drinks.
Yeah.
I have a Kickstarter right now for it. But he said Chandler is more handsome than him. Because yesterday in my podcast, I told him that he needed to be on video because he was so handsome.
Oh, yeah. Well, just being on video brings you up a couple notches of handsome anyways.
That's true. It makes me look so tall and so buff.
Yeah. Definitely buff.
Buff. Like Chandler.
Brother. Another good one.
Good times. Until next time.
Maybe.
We're not quite sure when, because this is the Almost Daily Show.
Hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, we don't know. If you have requests, make sure you send us your questions. We really like interacting.
Good stuff. See you guys tomorrow.
See ya.